Hey, how's it going? It's Sam Frost here from reviewsboss.com, back with another Clickbank video. Today I'm asking or going to be answering the question whether or not you can trust Clickbank. So I've seen a few people ask this. I've had people ask me this through comments on my website and contact form messages and all sorts of things like that. Basically, can you trust Clickbank? So what I'm going to do in this video is cover really the sort of key angles from which we can look at this, because there's actually a few different ways you have to look at Clickbank. You've got to look at it just Clickbank as a whole. So can you trust the whole sort of business model they've got? You want to look at Clickbank from the perspective of affiliates. Can you trust the platform as an affiliate? Can you trust it as a vendor? And also, can you trust it as a customer if you're buying a product on there? So this will be a slightly longer video, but hopefully you'll find it helpful. As with all my videos in this channel, it's largely me talking with some screen recording in the background, but hopefully you're cool with that concept. So as far as that bigger picture goes of can you trust Clickbank, I think you can. Long story short, they've been around for a long time. They've been in business for a number of years now, and I don't think you get to be as big as you are and sort of as successful as you are if you're not a trustworthy business. Now, that doesn't mean that people don't have complaints, and what I'll do in this video is talk a bit more about where some of those complaints tend to come from. But as a whole, I think Clickbank is a trustworthy platform. If you're looking to buy a product or sell a product or be an affiliate, you can trust Clickbank, to not sort of rip you off. They're set up in an honest and ethical fashion in terms of how they operate. Now, what I do want to do is sort of preface that by saying there are some things you need to be aware of as to how the platform works. And a lot of that is where some of the accusations of Clickbank being untrustworthy have come from. So what we'll do first is start by looking at whether you can trust Clickbank from the perspective of a customer. So by customer, I mean the end user who's buying the product. So you might find yourself in the position of asking this question if someone's recommended you a product. Maybe you've gone to a website, you've clicked on a link and it's taken you to a product. I'll use, let's say you're trying to learn French, and then as part of learning French, someone has recommended that you buy Rocket Languages, or you're trying to learn how to sing, and someone's recommended that you get Superior Singing Method. And so you've seen that the product is sold through Clickbank. Probably when you've got to the checkout process, you will have seen that it takes you off to a Clickbank page, and maybe you're sitting there thinking, oh, can I trust Clickbank? Are they going to take my payment details? Are they going to, relieve me of money, any of that kind of thing? Well, truth is no, you can definitely trust Clickbank in this regard. They've got a good, secure payment processing gateway. You don't need to worry about that. Clickbank for customers is very trustworthy in terms of how the platform operates. Now, you always want to be careful with any time you're buying anything online or handing over personal information. So, you want to make sure that you check for the security symbol in the top left corner of the screen. You want to make sure that you're sort of progressing through a legitimate Clickbank interface. Not that I've heard of it happening, but I guess there would possibly be people out there who might fake a sort of Clickbank, checkout process and then actually use it to steal your details. So just because Clickbank is a trusted platform as a customer doesn't mean that common sense doesn't apply. You still need to think about these things and sort of use your common sense hat that you should use when you're operating online, because there are people out there who want to get you with bad stuff. Another reason you can trust Clickbank as a customer is they do have a very generous refund policy that's pushed onto vendors. You have to offer a 60-day money-back guarantee on your products. You can't, sell them with a shorter refund window. At least that's my understanding. I don't think there's any way around that. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, what if I buy this product and it's not good and then the vendor doesn't want to refund me? Well, your first port of call is always to go back to the vendor and ask for a refund. And most vendors are really good at just giving you the money back, because the marginal cost of making a digital sale is not very high. Some, though, some less scrupulous ones, or sometimes for higher value products, they will try and keep you, I guess, rectify the situation. Maybe if you didn't quite like the product, they might offer you a bonus or something like that. Sometimes people will complain there. They'll say, oh, a vendor on Clickbank tried to, stop me from getting a refund. If that happens and you really just need the refund, just come here and go to support and go to the order support. Which is this piece here, and that will help you get your refund or your cancellation of a rebilling subscription or anything like that. So from a purely end user perspective, I think, if you're buying a product that is sold through Clickbank, you don't really have anything to worry about. It is a good platform that should look after you. It enables smooth and efficient delivery of the product. It helps keep your payment details secure, all that sort of stuff. You've got good support if the vendor falls through. So definitely Clickbank is good in that regard. Now, where the sort of trustworthiness of Clickbank, arguments have come in, and sort of, some people are not so fond of it, is from a couple of different angles, mainly looking at vendors and affiliates. So if we look at vendors, one bone of contention with vendors has always been this 60-day refund policy that Clickbank forces. Now, the reason Clickbank does this is because, especially going back a while, but even now, Clickbank products, there's some niches that have horrendously high refund rates for various reasons. The best example is the make money online niche. So there's tons and tons of products on Clickbank about e-business and e-marketing. There's just heaps and heaps of them, just endless numbers. And the problem with a lot of these products is a lot of them aren't that good. I think Clickbank has done work to clean up the marketplace, but there's a lot of crap on the marketplace, to be honest. Especially, when I first started on Clickbank, probably about 2007, some of the trash that was being sold on here was just unimaginable. And even today, there are a lot of these products, especially in make money online space, that promise a huge amount. We've all seen the overhyped claims, copy and anything that's like copy and paste method to make $1,000 a day passively. Part of the problem is people buy into the hype, and the whole way that a lot of the vendors operate who are selling these products is they know they're going to have massive refunds, but as long as the sales pace outstrips the refunds, and they're selling the upsells on the back end and all that kind of stuff, they're making bank. They're doing really, really well. People make money like you wouldn't believe on Clickbank selling some of the stuff. But one area where people say, can I trust Clickbank, or can you trust Clickbank, is if you're a vendor and you're selling a legitimate product, a really good one, and then basically you've got this problem whereby, often you're selling an information product, and because it's a 60-day refund period, most people will have consumed that product within 60 days. Like if I buy an ebook, I'll generally read it within a day. Often I'll buy something before I'm getting on a plane for a couple of hours flying over to Australia for work or something like that. I'll read it on the flight and then I'm done. Now, what was happening and what still happens a lot, especially in some of these niches like make money online, health and fitness, self-help, the big money maker niches, is people know how Clickbank's refund policy works. Especially people who've bought multiple products as end users. And so they'll buy your product for $100, $50, whatever. They'll consume it and then they'll refund it and get their money back, because ultimately Clickbank requires you to give a refund. Now, the reason they require that refund is because the refund rates are so high. And if they didn't do that, it basically cuts down on chargebacks. So any merchant platform, Clickbank being one, hates chargebacks, because chargebacks basically threaten they almost threaten the viability of your business, because obviously most people pay online with credit cards. And because Clickbank can get a whole lot of chargebacks, and if their refund policy wasn't so tight, someone buys a product for $500, some masterclass on copy and paste online immediate profits, buys it, realizes it's a load of crap, can't get a refund, so issues a chargeback through their credit card company. Well, enough of those could get Clickbank shut down. So my understanding is basically the arrangement Clickbank has. There's still the odd chargeback here and there, but basically the arrangement they've got with credit card companies is, look, we force this really long refund period onto vendors and therefore onto affiliates as well. And in exchange for that, we cut down on the risk of chargebacks, and therefore you've got to keep giving us payment processing facilities, because most platforms, most businesses don't allow for products like this. It's not normal to allow such a long refund period. I do see people do it on other platforms. I've bought info products where you have a year's refund, a lifetime refund. But Clickbank, with the volume of business they're doing, this is one of those real bones of contention, because as a vendor, you can make all these sales of a really legitimate, good product, but some people are just unscrupulous and refund for no good reason. And the thing is, Clickbank doesn't discriminate between a legitimate refund request and one that's like, I bought the product and I've used it and now I just want my money back. It's a bit like going to, a shop, buying a shirt to wear out to a party on the weekend, and then taking it back on the Monday because you don't want to wear that shirt again. It's really no different. Now with physical products, that's harder to do, but with Clickbank, they do make it easy. So a lot of vendors wonder, can you trust Clickbank because of this refund system? And ultimately, that's just something you have to be comfortable with. If you aren't comfortable with that concept, look to a different platform. If you don't need affiliates, maybe you just want to sell a product online to your own audience, I'll probably say don't use Clickbank as a vendor. If you don't see affiliates being a big part of what you want to do, you're better off with your own system. Even things like Shopify now make it super easy to set up an online store for info products or software or anything like that. There's heaps and heaps of options. Things like Gumroad are super easy, and you can specify your own refund policy and all that kind of stuff. Because I do agree that if you have a legitimate product, you shouldn't have to offer a refund just because someone has changed their mind after 60 days. I think Clickbank would cop less heat here if they said, hey, you've got a 24 hours or 48-hour refund window for any reason, and then up to 60 days thereafter but maybe there's like a dispute process or something like that. But that's never going to change because Clickbank has to reduce the risk of chargebacks because that has a massive risk on their business model. So can you trust Clickbank from the perspective of a vendor? Look, you can, but you just have to be aware of how this refund thing works and what it can do to your business. Because obviously it's really frustrating if you make a whole lot of sales and then 59 days later, they all get refunded and you haven't made the money you thought you're going to make, and maybe you've already spent it. I don't know. Now, that leads us on to the last piece for this video, which is, can you trust Clickbank if you're an affiliate? And this is generally where most of the sort of, angst and anxiousness comes from around Clickbank. So once again, as I mentioned with the vendors, the refund policy on Clickbank can really affect you as an affiliate. I have had it so many times. There's a couple of high-end info products that I recommend, that are up sort of, 5, 6, 7, 800. One of them's about $1,000, and they're good products. I only recommend products that I actually genuinely recommend. But of course, with an expensive product like that, especially anything in the make money online space, people will buy it. They realize that spending $1,000 doesn't mean that they're going to click their fingers and start making $1,000 a day every day. There's actually work goes into it. It's hard work, seriously hard work. And so what happens is, you see that nice juicy commission come into your account, and then lo and behold, 50 days later, 55 days later, whatever, that money's refunded. And as an affiliate, that can actually cause a whole lot of problems because you can wind up in a situation where Clickbank's paid you out for some sales, but then you get refunds like later on in a sort of another payment cycle. And depending on the value of the product you sold and were successfully paid out on versus the value of the products refunded, you might actually wind up owing Clickbank money. Now, my understanding is they don't pursue you for the balance, but they'll keep harassing you saying that, you need to square this off with accounts. And then what they can do is actually shut your account down as well. It's really frustrating. I personally don't really think that's okay. I think the way it should work is, as an affiliate, your balance should not be able to go below $0. It just should be right. If people have refunded the product, and Clickbank, your Clickbank account balance goes below $0 as an affiliate because you've, been paid out on some sales and then refunded on more later. Well, Clickbank, I think, should have to wear that difference. That should be the punishment they should have to face for their ridiculous refund policy. Or the fact that there's no ability to sort of fight back against some of these less genuine refund requests. But that's just my opinion. Obviously I welcome any other opinion that may come along as well. But yeah, can you trust Clickbank as an affiliate? Well, you have to be comfortable with the way that refund system works. Now, if you're not comfortable with that, look at a different platform, maybe something like JVZoo. There'd be similar products on there, and vendors have a bit more control, or maybe, in-house affiliate programs as well. Another thing you want to be aware of as a Clickbank affiliate, as to whether you can trust the platform or not, is some people do have issues with vendors. So it's not so much Clickbank's fault, but vendors trying to do all sorts of unscrupulous things with overriding affiliate cookies. So a classic example where you'll see this is a landing page for a product that has some kind of newsletter opt-in. So, the landing page should be selling the product, but then the vendor will say, "Oh, get our free secret, 7-day report," or something like that, 7-day email course. And when the user signs up for that, basically what happens is the link that comes out in the first email, when someone clicks that, goes back to the product sales page. It overwrites your cookie with one of their own, or a friend's one or something like that. And then you've driven them the traffic, but you actually get shut out of the sale. So you need to be wary of that. I'll do a video on how you can spot some of these scams. They're not that common. They're not as common as they were, but it is something to be aware of. Some affiliates have claimed that Clickbank themselves sort of shave commissions. I don't know if there's any evidence for that. I don't want to accuse Clickbank of something that they haven't done. I mean, I certainly know way back when I first did affiliate marketing on Clickbank and sort of did more of it than I do now. To be honest, most of the affiliate marketing I do through Amazon these days. There was, I can definitely remember a time where I was making really, really consistent sales, and most people who've claimed Clickbank is shaving or sort of, put artificial holds on your account or something like that. Most people have had a similar experience. I was making really consistent sales every day, 150, 200 bucks in commissions a day. Then all of a sudden, same level of traffic, same level of clicks, it would slow right down to, $20, $30. And what I did was just shut down that account. Well, didn't shut it down, but I opened another one, changed all my links over, and lo and behold, straight up to the same figure I was making. And some people theorize that what Clickbank is possibly doing is, once you reach a certain level, maybe, you're making some sales, but you're not quite a super affiliate, as some people call them, where you've got good influence within the platform. Basically, they're trimming a little bit of money here and there, swapping out some hops. Who knows what goes on in the background? I don't think they do that. It's probably just a random coincidence, but it is something to be aware of. Some people do complain of that. So be aware. The other thing that you do need to be aware of as well, and this is not just for affiliates, but it's also for customers too, is that, as I mentioned in other points in this video, there are a lot of crappy products on Clickbank. It's not as bad as it was, but ultimately there is a lot of junk on here. People will create a product very quickly, list it for sale. A lot of the top selling products, in my experience, are more hype and marketing than they are substance. They tend to lead to big refunds, all sorts of problems. So, you do want to do your research into the product you promote. Ultimately, it's, let the buyer beware. But the problem with that, if you're a customer looking for reviews of a Clickbank product, it's almost impossible, in my experience, to find a genuine review, because if you search for, product name plus review, so if we search for, mobile monopoly 2.0 review, almost all of the top links you'll find on Google will be affiliates of the product who, you just read the reviews, and they're just usually the affiliate press release content tweaked up a little bit and linking you straight through. So finding genuine reviews of Clickbank products can be very, very difficult. One way to find it, a piece of advice I can give, is if you look for the product name and review and then go plus Reddit. So Reddit is an online discussion board, but what Reddit's quite good at doing is the way it's set up, people can still scam it, but Redditors tend to be pretty diligent at filtering that out. So you can often find more honest reviews of products on there. Any kind of forum as well, it's probably easier to find a genuine review. But my experience, pretty much any Clickbank review, even if you search honest Clickbank review, or honest product name review, 75, 80, maybe even 90% of the reviews out there are just people who will say anything positive about the product to try and get a commission. Now, I review Clickbank products. I've done it for years, but I do try to keep relatively honest reviews. Obviously, I want to make commissions as well. But if I see a product that I really don't like and don't think it's good, I will, avoid using my affiliate link for it. So you can get a good feel for whether that product is trustworthy or not. Because if it's not good, I won't try and make money off your purchase of it. But anyway, to wrap this up, can you trust Clickbank? Yes, I think Clickbank is a good platform. They provide a useful service. You just have to be aware of the issues. Most of the issues, to be honest, stem from the fact that they've allowed selling of products and niches, especially make money online, health and fitness and relationships, that just have a tendency to probably overhype things a lot because there's so much money to be made. And off the back of that, you get tons of refunds. Because of that, they need to avoid chargebacks. So they have this really over-the-top refund policy, which is great for customers, but bad for vendors and affiliates. Like any affiliate network, there's always going to be accusations of shaving and things. I don't think Clickbank is anywhere near as dodgy from an affiliate's perspective as some of these, little second tier CPA networks, which are really shady, a lot of them. Clickbank is a genuine business. And I think it's just part of their perhaps tarnished reputation, if you will call it that, simply comes from the fact that they're relatively democratic. They allow people to buy and sell the products they want to buy and sell within reason, and they sort of come along for the ride, and they make a cut in the process. And you just have to be aware, let the buyer beware, let the affiliate beware, let the vendor beware. And as long as you do that, Clickbank's a legitimate platform, and I don't think you'll have too much trouble with it. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning how to make money on Clickbank as an affiliate, click the link in the video description below, and you can go and check out my recommended free training program on Clickbank affiliate marketing. It's called Affiliarama. Now, Affiliarama does have upsells, but you don't have to buy them. You can still get some good training for free, which is why I recommend it. And it's a good place to start. That's my affiliate link. If you click that and then you buy any of the premium products, I'll get a cut, but you don't have to spend anything if you don't want to. There's good free training. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.